can't say I have an explicit answer to this one. There are so many cropping up now, I think as Liam alluded to earlier, like people can go off and build them like it's nothing. There's an underlying issue with some of them in that the data sets that are accessible to the general public, that some of the larger models have been trained on various versions of, is that there's things like pirated data in there. So some of you might have read that, OpenAI have got lawsuits against them at the moment for the content on that they've used as their training data. There are citations of, I think Washington Post uncovered a bunch, I think it was like 160 different sources of pirated data within something that made up like 12% of either the BARD or the ChatGPT training set. The C4, which I think is the BARD, the Corpus Pros or something. So, my mind's gone blank, I've got a question, I'm really sorry. Open source. Sorry, yes. So best open source. I think all of them at the moment, if you can get your hands on them, have a play with them, make your own conclusions. They're open source, they're accessible, they've all got the strengths, they've all got the weaknesses. As we've said, it depends on the things that matter to you. Ethics are variable person to person, morals are different person to person. Some of them censor the answers, they remove harmful language and things like that. Some don't, so if you're sensitive to one way or the other, that should be a part of the decision in which model you choose.
Can I augment that question? Just add to it. So what's the capability difference between an open source LLM and one of the kind of big LLMs, if that's what they're called?
Yes, and typically the training data is what we're looking at, so where's the data come from? So if we're looking at ChatGPT, it's straight from the internet, it's going to be your Reddits and your Facebook posts and everything else I expect. Data's not entirely transparent, so you can't see. But it's the same issue as well when you're looking at inclusion of how do we make sure that we're accounting for different cultures or different ways of thinking, or different religions, or any other protected class. And if you're only basing your data set on the text that's being created by white middle class men in England or in America, are you taking those viewpoints in from other people around the world, from other cultures as well? And that's the nature of closed source. You don't know where it's come from, you don't know who's written it, you don't know what words they've used, what they're thinking. With open source, you have the ability to then have the flexibility to look at the languages being used, who did submit it, who was the author, where did it come from, how did they train it. Benefits of open source have always been the same, and they benefit everybody at the same time. When it's closed source, it's locked off, you don't know where the data's coming from, the terms can change, it can suddenly be taken away from you, your business can fold as a result. Open source is the way forward, right? But how do we get there? It requires people to start learning, start training other people, educating them, and doing it themselves. Unfortunately, you have to do some hard work.
I really wanted to add that, as always, everything depends on your use case and what you want something for. But for example, the current trend is to see whether you can get different results with prompt engineering, playing with the prompt to see whether you get different results with different LLMs. But and I guess the other aspect is how easy it is to tune and integrate in your existing infrastructure. And again, we're talking if you're a big company rather than if you just use it for personal reasons.